Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Welcome you all again in my online lecture. First of all, I want to tell you this is my fifth lecture, and before that, we discussed about principles of fracture, clubfoot, ankle sprain, and I think you have seen my videos, and those videos may be helpful for you for learning purpose. And today I also discuss about a new topic, and it is very interesting topic, and this topic is also very important for your practical life and as well as your final professional examination. And the topic that has been selected for today's discussion is fractures in children. You know, fracture in children is vastly different from fractures in adult. You know, children are not small size adult. That is why they are different from the adult, and that is why their fracture pattern, management of fracture in case of children is quite different in adults, and bone nature or bone anatomy is also different in children from adult. That is why management and diagnosis both are different in between children and adult. Now let's come to know something about these fractures in children. First of all, you know, the children's bone is malleable than adult. Malleable means it is more flexible than adult. That is why it allows some plastic type of bending or flexion or bowing injuries. Okay. And in case of anatomy, the children have a thick periosteum, and it is more thicker than in adult, and this helps in growing of the bone. Okay. And what are the benefits of having this periosteum in children? That is, it decreases the displacement of bone during fracture. Okay. And as it has a thick periosteum, chance of open fracture is less in case of children than in adult, and it helps to stabilize the fracture after reduction. So what are the things? That is, it has thick periosteum. So this thick periosteum makes some difference. That is, it reduce the displacement of fracture during fracture. There is a lower incidence of open fracture in case of children, and after reduction it helps to stabilize the reduction. Okay. And there are some important points about children fracture, that is, healing is more rapid in case of children than in adult. Why? Because it is a growing bone, so it has more vascularity, and it is a malleable bone. That is why it grows rapidly, and as it has thick periosteum, and periosteum gives more blood circulation to the bone. That is why it heals rapidly. And as it is a young bone, open reduction is rarely indicated, and it has high remodeling rate. And if fracture occur in the growth plate or fascial region, then sometimes there is a chance of growth disturbance. And another thing, that is, as children sometimes cannot talk to us, as the children sometimes unable to follow our commands, and sometimes the children are not cooperative with us. That is why we can miss the diagnosis of fracture due to poor communication between patient and doctor. And sometimes patients or children's parents are unable to tell us how the fracture or how the injury occurs. That is why sometimes it is quite tough for the physician to exactly locate the site of injury. That is why often diagnosis is missed. And for diagnosis, sometimes we do comparison X-ray. What is that? As for example, if a baby or a children have injury in his left elbow, and we do the X-ray and we cannot understand what is the findings, but we are suspecting something, then we can do the X-ray of the healthy side, that is of right elbow. And in that case, comparing this injured side with the healthy side, we can make a diagnosis that yes, there is some injury in the left elbow. Okay, now let's come to know about some fractures. Those are related to children. The first and most important thing is green stick fracture. And what is this? This is a incomplete fracture. Here one cortex of the bone is broken, but another cortex is remain intact. As for example, if you think this is a radius or ulna, or this is here one cortex is broken, here one cortex is broken, but another cortex is remain intact. And how? As for example, you can see there is a green stick, or as for think a bamboo stick or a narrow bamboo stick. If you try to bend it, one cortex or one edge of this stick will be broken, but another edge will remain intact. This is the pattern of green stick fracture. That is why we call it green stick fracture. Okay. And the second, this is the X-ray. You can see here the X-ray of the radius and ulna, anterior, posterior and lateral view, showing in the lateral side both the radius and ulna is fractured, but on the ulnar side or the medial side, both the cortex are remain intact. And this is a very classic and beautiful example of green stick fracture. And next we will discuss about buckle fracture. And this is also a injury of childhood, and this injury occur in the metaphyseal region. And sometimes young doctors, those who are working in the emergency department, easily they can miss this type of fracture if they don't have previous experience about managing this type of fracture. Here there is some cortical elevation or cortical depression or a bending of the cortex is only occur. Okay, and this type of fracture is stable fracture, and only immobilization for short duration is sufficient for managing this type of fracture. Okay, and another thing, that is plastic bowing deformity. Here bone deforms but does not break. And in this X-ray you can see there is a tibia and fibula of a children, and here you can see the fibula is bent like a bow. Okay, and this is the plastic bowing or plastic deformity of a children, and this is also one type of fracture. And another thing that is very important part of children orthopedics, that is fascial injury. You know, the growing bone have a special part. In adult bone we have epiphysis, metaphysis and diaphysis, but in case of children, in between epiphysis and diaphysis there is a fascial region or physis or growth plate, and here in the growth plate the longitudinal growth of the bone occurs, and sometimes there may be injury occur in the fascial region, and this fascial injury may cause growth disturbance of that limb or any deformity of that limb. As for example, if an injury occur in the lower end of the distal tibia, and if the physis is disturbed, then the growth of the leg may be impaired. Okay, here is an example of the X-ray of the ankle joint, and here showing there is fascial injury and there is some displacement of the bone, and if that displacement persists and reduction not done properly, then there is a chance of disturbance. And now let's come to know another important thing, very important for you to learn, because most of the time you can see this type of fracture, and when this type of fracture occur in a patient under you, then it is very uh, tough to manage the patient's party, and that is birth fracture. Again, I am telling you, birth fracture is very tough for the management of patient attendance, but birth injury or birth fracture management is not that much dangerous. Okay, because a children born or a newborn babies have a tremendous remodeling power. That is why it will unite very smoothly, very nicely, but in that time the patient party become very anxious about the fracture of his or her newborn baby. That is why you have to be cautious about dealing with birth fracture. And where this birth fracture commonly occurs, that is humerus, clavicle, in the femur, and these three bones are more important for birth fracture. Okay. And how birth fracture occur is, as for example, during normal delivery or in cesarean section, if baby does not come out smoothly, sometimes we have to give extra pressure or extra energy for come out of the baby, and in that time this type of injury occurs. Or if the baby has pre-existing any bone deformity or any bone tumor or bone disease, and if the bone is weaker due to any congenital disease, in that case the chance of this type of fracture increased. Now let's come to know some clinical features, how we can diagnose a injury or children fracture. Definitely, first of all, there may be a history of trauma. The baby cry abnormally, this is the common thing. And another thing, in the local part we may find some pain, swelling, deformity. As the same, we have to follow the role for diagnosis of orthopedic patients, that is look, feel and move. And we can see this type of findings, that is deformity or swelling or reluctant to move that limb or part. If injury occurs in the lower limb, the baby is reluctant to stand or walk or running. In that case, we can diagnose, yes, there is something happening in his limbs. Okay. And the one investigation is usually sufficient for diagnosis of children's fracture, that is X-ray. An X-ray of the local part, as for example, if injury occur in the around the wrist, and we have to do a X-ray of the wrist anterior, posterior and lateral view. And if we have suspicion but we are unable to finally diagnose it, then we have to do the X-ray of the healthy side, that is the wrist of the right side. And sometimes we have to do X-ray in the second occasion for diagnosis. As for example, the baby come to us first day or second day, we do the X-ray. X-ray findings is normal, but the baby is reluctant to move the limbs, he have swelling, pain, etc. Then we have to wait, check X-ray after 3-4 days or after 7 days. That is why we do X-ray in 2 occasions. And now, what is the treatment for children's fracture? My dear student, we love our babies or children very much. That is why definitely we will be very anxious about our baby or our children. And in that point of view, the patient party or patient parents need adequate counseling. What is the fracture? What will be the management of fracture? What will be the outcome of fracture? Whether is there any chance of complication present or not? All these things should be discussed with the patient attendance, and this is the most important part. Counseling is the important part of treatment. And what should be the treatment? Then for fracture we can apply some removable splints, we can give plaster, sometimes elevation in the elbow bag is sufficient, and very rarely we can do surgery if there is a fascial injury or growth plate injury, or if any displaced fracture. In that case, sometimes we do surgery with minimal invasive procedure or minimum injury to the soft tissue and bone. Here we can see there is a boy with his ankle injury wearing a removable splint, or this beautiful baby is wearing a plaster for his fracture. And I am about to finish my lecture today. Before that, what are the complications may develop in case of children's fracture? And complications means there is a chance of malunion, and if not treated properly, or if there is a injury to the growth plate, there is a chance of deformity and growth disturbance, and very rarely non-union may occur. That is, if injury to the occur in the lateral epicondyle or etc., in that case some bone twist and causes non-union, and this is important part of today's discussion. So I think this is a interesting topic and you have enjoyed your topic, and I think this is an academic discussion. You will not entertain like TikTok videos. This is a class lecture, but I think you should always try to see this video from beginning to the end, because this is an academic purpose video and this is helpful for your future career. And I think you should observe or learn something from this video. And with this I conclude. Thank you. Thanks to you all.